So on the interpretation of contracts class, okay, these are the rules on how to interpret the written contract. Okay, so ano bang susundin na rules in case na piloso po yung mag-interpret ng contract. Okay. So interpretation of contracts refers to the determination of the real meaning of the terms and words used by the parties in the written contract. Okay. It is the process of ascertaining the intention of the parties. Okay, ang important din kasi is the intention of the parties. Okay, you must ascertain that using the written words contained in the contract. Okay. The primary grading principle class na gamitin niyo in the interpretation of contract is always to determine the real intention of the parties. Okay, so no matter what, dapat ang real intention of the parties must always prevail. Why? Because that is the real contract, the real agreement that they have. So that must prevail over the words used. Kasi minsan kasi class, the words used in the written contract is doubtful, maraming meaning, di klaro. Okay? So you always interpret that in a way na the real intention of the party must be made effective. Okay? Mo po din ang guiding principle actually class sa reformation of contracts. Okay? If the written contract does not reflect the true intention of the parties, then the parties can have that contract reformed. So the same is true with the interpretation of contracts. Okay, you always look for the real intention of the parties. So rule number 1, if the contract is very clear, no doubts, okay, klaro kayo, then you apply the literal meaning of the stipulations. Okay, so kapag the contract is clear, apply the literal meaning. Do not entertain any other meaning outside of the contract. Okay, kung ano yung nasa loob ng contract na clear naman, you apply that literally. That is very logical and obvious. Okay, ito lang ang problema kasi class, sometimes the contract is not clear. There are words na kabaliktaran ang sinasabi, kabaliktaran sa intention ng parties. What will prevail? Always the intention shall prevail over the words, no matter what. Okay? So, paano ba natin malalaman ang intention of the parties? How do we know what are the intention of the parties? What is the intention of the parties? Okay? You look at their contemporaneous, yung ginawa nila habang, yung actions nila habang ginagawa yung contract, and subsequent acts. Okay, dalawa yung klasa, contemporaneous and subsequent acts. What are their acts during the formation, the perfection of the contract, and their subsequent acts later on? Okay. Example, the contract says it's a donation, but the debtor later on is paying monthly amount. So you will, with that, you will know that the intention of the party is not really a donation. It may be something else. It may be sale or a lease. Okay. Tingnan mo rin yung ibang stipulations kung ano ang true meaning. Okay. Ibig sabihin, you can use the contemporaneous as subsequent acts and subsequent acts for consideration. You consider that in knowing the intention of the parties. Okay, I am not saying that you only use those contemporaneous and subsequent acts. Okay, you may use that together with the other meaning found in the agreement or in the contract. So however daw general is the term, kahit na masyadong general ang term, you always look for what was intended by the parties. Okay, general term, masyadong broad ang meaning. Okay, so you use that meaning that will make the intention of the party effective. Okay? Paano kung several meanings ang stipulation sa contract? Okay? You still, dahil several ang meaning, okay, you choose that meaning which will make the intention of the parties effectual. Okay? So, words which may have different significations shall be understood that which is in most in keeping with the nature and object of the contract. Okay? You also look at the nature and the object of the contract. So, the words must be understood in keeping with that nature and the object. So, various stipulations should be interpreted together. Okay? May mga philosopher class nag-stick lang doon sa isang sentence. Okay? That is wrong. Okay? Each and every word, each and every sentence, each and every stipulation must be understood together with the others. Okay? You have to take the whole contract in its entirety to determine the meaning. Okay? Huwag ka mag-stick doon sa isang word, sa isang sentence. Usually, yan kasi yung ginagawa ng mga pilosopo. You must always read the contract as a whole in its entirety. And the provisions, stipulations, you must take them jointly. And you may also, in interpreting contracts class, and there are doubts as to technical meanings, you may look at the usage and custom of the place where the contract was perfected. Kung ano ang pagkaintindi doon ng technical term, you may use that. Obscure words na walay klaro. If it is caused by one of the parties, then the obscurity should not be interpreted to favor that party. Okay? So actually, kaya niya ginawang obscure yung words para mag-favor sa kanya. Therefore, you do the opposite. You interpret that obscure words in such a way that it will not favor that party who caused the obscurity. Okay, this one class is very important. Maraming naka-underline. So, after applying the rules discussed previously, it is absolutely impossible to settle the doubts. Okay, as to the circumstances of the contract. Okay, you take note. If it is a gratuitous contract, you take into as the meaning that which will have the least transmission of rights and interests. For example, okay, if a thing has been transferred from one person to another and it is not clear whether the contract is a donation or pahiram, which is called comodato, okay, walang bayad yun, yung pahiram at saka donation, walang bayad yun, so gratuitous contract. So, you are na, after applying the rules, doubtful ka pa rin kung ano ba talaga, kung pinahiram o binigay. Okay? The least transmission of rights is the pahiram or the comodatum. Okay? It will not really transfer any right to the other person. Kasi kung donation, may transfer of rights eh. So, pagka gratuitous contract class, ang rule is, you take into consideration kung ano yung least transmission of rights and interest, yun ang gamitin mo sa interpretation. However, if the contract is onerous, ibig sabihin, onerous, may ibibigay ka, the other person will also give something. So, onerous yung contract. Okay, so, ang interpretation yan is kung ano yung fair sa kanilang dalawa, reciprocally fair. So you take into consideration the greatest reciprocity of interest. For example, utang, may interest, 10% interest. Now, you are doubtful kung ano ba, ilang buwan ba ito hiniram. Okay? Buwan ba o years? 12%. Usually kasi class of interest is per annum. Okay? So, the greatest reciprocity of interest is i-consider mo na lang 1 year. Why? Because you can use the money for 1 year and you can receive interest on the loan for also 1 year. So fair lang siya. Reciprocal yung benefit. Okay. So take note always, pagka gratuitous contract, least transmission of rights. Onerous is the greatest reciprocity para fair. Kapag may doubt sa principal object in such a way na hindi mo na malaman kung ano ba talaga ang object. Like for example, nagbenta sa'yo ng lupa. Okay. And then later on, okay, it was found out na marami palang lupa yung nagbebenta. And after applying the rules, still doubtful kung ano ba talaga ang lupa ang object of the contract. Then it cannot be known which one is the object. Then the contract shall be null and void. Why? Because there is no object, and object is one of the essential elements of the contract. So no object, the elements are not complete, then there is no contract.